I went to Con Bravo and
You did JoJopardy.
I did. So, God, fucking damn it, man. Already the process of like putting together these prize packs for everybody was cutting it down to the wire, but I did get enough in time that I think was worth it, and looked like everyone was happy with how that played out. I was waiting on that fucking suit.
Yeah.
I'm staring at the goddamn UPS truck.
Yeah.
Coming around, you know what I mean? Like trying to get my hands on that suit. It was nonsense. I hate UPS, dude. Ugh. But anyway, I had to drive out to Lachine. I had to drive out to the fucking station to go pick up my garbage because they just refused.
I hate those motherfuckers.
It really sucks, especially when you pay for the rush.
Pure Later's even worse though. Out here.
I mean, the only thing that I like, it's that nothing's great, right?
Canada Post will bring it to your local post office.
And then you can go get it at the post office.
It'll take you 10 minutes.
Yep.
Because everyone lives next to a post office.
And it's not the perfect solution because sometimes they bring it to the wrong one. Sometimes they leave you a door tag that leads to nothing. But for the most part, if you ever you miss your package, it's going to be at your post office. And I'm like, God bless Canada Post,
I have never had a Pure Later person ever actually hand me an item.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah. DHL, UPS, FedEx, all these fucking companies. Like, UPS gets, like the amount of shits they don't give about, like, they will drive to your location just to put a door tag on your door.
I had a UPS guy leave a package on the sidewalk in front of my house.
And
he did not ring the fucking doorbell.
I remember a Duckman bit where Duckman's waiting on a package, and I'm pretty sure it was, and like he literally is like staring at the door, and then he's like, I have to go out, and he's like, fuck, but all right, and he leaves the house, and the moment he leaves the house, the UPS man leans out of the bushes, puts the tag on his door, sorry we missed you, and jumps back into the bushes. Yeah. Anyway, so what I got, but I did get it. I got the suit, got my accessories, went down to a fucking Halloween shop and bought me some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I went in, as you might have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I
saw.
Outfitted up. We did.
You're ready to sell dozens of classified personal ads in the newspaper to make a fortune.
Or used cars.
Yeah.
Would you trust a used car salesman wearing that fucking suit?
Yes, I would.
Well, I would not. I would not trust myself. However, I got my questions all together. I put them. I had 3 rounds worth of JoJo trivia, and I tested them on Punch Mom, and but she doesn't remember anything.
Yeah,
so that doesn't really, So I was like, okay.
She remembers schooling and important things.
And then I tested them on Austin.
Yeah.
And some friends, and like they were kind of just like, dude,
these are too hard.
What the? They're like, we watched all of JoJo once as a normal anime. Yeah. We're not living in the world of reading its memes and seeing its manga pages and double reading it and then watching it. We're just people that watched it once.
That's the problem that I knew you were going to run into, because there's 2 types of people with something like this. There's the guy who showed up with the fucking there's people like Kira Buckland who are walking around with the fucking tattoo on their neck.
Yeah.
And then there's people like, yeah, that was a fun anime with Dio, right?
Yeah. So it was pretty hard to kind of figure out where to nail this, because the problem was that I made questions based on as if I were talking to the people in our chat right now.
Yep.
I made questions for them.
Yes.
Essentially.
Where any question you would ask would be instantaneously answered by 10 people.
Like, so the $100 questions
yeah.
were the ones that were like it was almost
Hit
like...
me with one of them as an example.
One of the originals?
Yeah, one of the original,
one of the originals, let me think, like, I revised it.
Anything for context.
Well, like, because I have I have the like God, I'd have to pull it up. Sorry, just because in the end there was a bunch, right? Now one of the ones the reason why everyone is shouting chocolate gum is because I fucked up,
Yeah.
right? And I super just wrote in like when I was trying to come up with replacement questions to make them easier and stuff, I wrote in some filler answers and then went back in and revised, but. And then that one I fucked up by leaving the filler answer in, and it was obviously coffee because chocolate kills dogs. So I made a mistake and got exposed. Oops, I made a mistake. When what ended up happening though was okay. Let me hit you. Let me find one of the questions. Sorry, just because
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm just like something for context, right?
Yeah. So I originally had, for example, let's say this is like like Joseph allows Santana to jump into the well for this reason.
Okay.
What do you got?
I think it was...
I worded it differently, but I'm like, Joseph basically...
because it would be noon soon, so the sun would be peering straight down the well to
exactly.
kill him.
Because it's high noon.
Okay, yeah, that's tough.
Sure. But that was one of those things that I threw out there, right?
Yeah.
And then like the crazy ass fucking hard questions were
what's Josuke's address?
No. Literally, what is Mikitaka's alien name?
That's not fair.
That's $1,000 question.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
Exactly, right? So you have so the whole thing is to understand when you're making the scale and like the amount of people yelling right now.
Yeah.
It's a perfect like representation of the fact that when you know JoJo, it seems super easy when it's a basic question, right?
Yeah.
But when you don't,
when you watched it once,
when it's just like what any other anime in your list, if I ask you which one, no, at first I had AC/DC cries for this reason, right? This is the and like or after, and I worded it better so that's like not because he gets his arm fucking hurt or whatever, but like this is the purpose that he explains why he cries, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like to get rid of his anger and frustration so that he can cool his head off, right? Okay, so that gets revised to which one of the Pillar Men cries.
Okay.
Right?
Which is laughably easy.
Compared to, you reword it sometimes to make it so that it's not about what the reason for the action was, as opposed to who did it, which is
how much grease was on that pillar.
Right. What is... there's an ability that is this obscure ability is used once, if not twice, ever in the entire thing. It's that Wamu does upon awakening his masters, and then we don't see it again. This obscure specific character trait of Wamu.
The character trait of Wamu or ability?
Same thing.
Okay, because like he attacks his shadow.
Yes. Well, no, but
he attacks anything that touches his shadow,
right?
And it's never dealt with ever.
So that to me is a pretty simple. It's an easy question, but it's easy to forget.
It's so weird when it happens.
But it's easy to forget, right?
Because it happens once.
So it became so I basically was staring back at these questions and like they were kind of going like, dude, hold on a second, right? These would work for your audience of people that love JoJo.
Yeah,
they've watched and read it and talk about it and share memes with each other all day, right? There's no mistaking a lot of these things. However, it's not gonna fly, especially if you're talking to you're saying this is what the panel is, but who are you gonna be pulling up there, right? The best JoJo fans in the audience, or
statistically you'll get one,
or then random people. And I'm like, I'm pulling random names out of a Jotaro hat.
Yeah.
Right? Then they're like, then you need to make this be a fun event.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's fair.
You can't go up there and have a situation in which no one on the list can get any of the questions correct.
Right? And there is a strategy to Jeopardy in which you can clear out hard questions, not answer, not lose points, and then try to fish for daily doubles.
Listen, are you making this fucking game for Ken Jennings or anyone else? Ken Jennings is that guy who ruined Jeopardy.
Okay.
He won like 11 weeks in a row.
Okay. So in the end, it was basically like, all right, $100 questions have to literally be answerable by anyone.
Yeah.
And then you make a sliding slow scale of difficulty and then jump it up around 400.
Dio is a werewolf, vampire, ghost.
My first $100 question was, this Japanese phrase translates to the fate of that blood, JoJo.
See, I get it.
Right?
It's yara yara to say, obviously.
And then that changed to, and then when I looked around the room and I got blank stares, that question changed to, this is the title of the intro and the final words on the lyrics of the first opening. Yeah. Right? Whatever.
There you go.
So in the end, what I did was...
It's like a rough balancing act.
It was a rough balancing act, and here's what it ended up being was pretty unbalanced.
Yeah.
With there being the first 1 to 300 of every board being piss easy. Yeah. And then 4 to 600 or 4 to 1,000 being brutal sometimes. Yeah. Forgiving other times. You know. I went back over things in a lot of cases, and I kept the same answer, but I reworded it. Yeah. Or I gave more of a hint as to what, even if you didn't remember what the thing was, the context given in the clue might imply, you know, enough, right? So I had another 1,000-point question where it's like, Straits and Lisa weave a 100% ripple conducting scarf that is made of 30,000 of these.
It's like some kind of hair. I forget.
No. Super wrong, right?
What was it?
So here's the thing, and this is where I got to choose. The answer is a beetle. But the answer also could have been a scarab beetle. Yeah. And then the answer could have been a Satiporja scarab beetle, a fictional type of beetle created for part 1 that conducts ripple. Okay. You understand? Yeah. Like, I could have went that hard on it, and I said, let's play it a little nice, right? Yeah. So anyway.
Not even a real beetle?
It's not even a real beetle. In the end, it was worth it, and it was fun. There was a good balance of wrong answers to right answers. Yeah. Good balance of holy shits to speed round. First fastest answer wins. Yeah. You know?
Say JoJo on the speed round, and you might win.
And there was, of course, the hilariousness of me getting my own fucking answer. Well. And the moment the guy said coffee, I was like, I fucked up, because I should have edited that. Yeah. I didn't. But for everything else though, I definitely made sure I fact checked. Like,
don't let your dogs eat chocolate, guys. They'll die.
But beyond that, I had a lot of fun with it. It was a really good time. The problem that I was trying to get to was, I did all those questions. I had to edit everything. So yeah. And then I was doing it. I was revising because it was 3 rounds of 30 questions, so there was 90 in total.
That's a lot.
Plus the final Jeopardies. Yeah. And I basically did that all the night of.
That's a lot
for the revision, because I didn't realize until
that's still a lot of revision.
So I got through it. Yeah. Walked down to, except for the coffee question. Yeah. Walked with the laptop from the hotel to the escalator to the room, plugged it in, and it exploded. On the stage with everyone waiting outside Saturday night to get into the main event. Watched it as just stopped working. The laptop in my hand just suddenly, no.
Awesome.
Right? Tech guys, everybody's running up, trying to figure out what we do.
That's just
stalling
super.
For time, Eventually, I'm just like, okay, guys, just copy off the files, and I will run them on another computer or whatever. Yeah. Let's do what we can. Get into command prompt. None of the tech guys really know DOS. So I'm just like, I'll fucking do it. Great. Thank God I had to build my computer back in the day. Thank God I learned how to do this shit. So I'm plugging in a fucking
DOS?
External, and I'm running command prompt.
You mean 2?
Yeah. Yeah, what?
2, it's 2 in Spanish, right?
And and now we live in a world of Windows 10 installed on SSDs. Yeah. Where it boots too fast for you to press F8. Yeah. Because you don't get to see a BIOS screen anymore. So that shit.
I
fucking
have
great.
that exact thing, and there is a solution, and it's actually mash
Yes.
F8
Yes.
as it loads.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. It's
Didn't
stupid
work.
as fuck.
Tried
Oh,
4
wow.
times, didn't work. So just command prompt, literally pulling file by file off, right? Doing star X copies.
That's kind of astonishing that you were able to fix it.
You know, well, I didn't fix it that night. We basically hit a 15-minute delay, and I went, this is going to take me too much time.
Yeah.
Right? And so they said, let's turn this into a WoolieVersus Q&A, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel bad because people came here for JoJo, not necessarily for me.
No, they came there for you.
But then we just started talking about JoJo anyway, and it was just a fun panel,
Yeah.
right? And then I said, come back tomorrow when we'll do the proper event,
Yeah.
which we did, and it worked out great.
Right. You saved the day.
It was a really good time. I put the video up. It's out on WoolieVersus. You can go watch it. It is full of music and bullshit that is hyper copyrighted.
Yeah.
So that shit's that's out for the wind. I'm not even going to attempt a monetization on that.
What's the final Jeopardy question? I don't want the answer. I just want to know what you decided was going to be the final Jeopardy question.
It was 3 variations of the same question for
Okay.
each round. I walked off the podium.
Yeah.
I stood in front of them and I asked them to identify this pose.
That's pretty good.
And I did a pose.
That's really hard.
Well,
Well, it depends what poses you pick.
I picked 2 easy ones
Yeah.
that they didn't get, and then I picked a pretty hard one. So let me see if you remember it. But
Yeah.
I did this.
Don't remember it.
Okay, this is Josuke holding the house in
in
the Savage Garden
Oh my
I
God.
Want You song
You're
in the
right.
credits.
Okay. Yeah, you're
Hand
right.
over the head, upside down, holding the house, you know?
Okay.
So,
That's
a lot of people thought I was going for the Caesar,
Yeah.
you know, with the abs on display, but I wasn't. And yeah, so I did that each round. It was Final Jeopardy was identify the pose.
okay. Oh, fuck.
Fun.
Yeah.
I was and I mean, yes, I understand. There was a point too where a big debate I had with people I had to go back and forth with, and I asked the Discord at one point even was the categories were parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
That makes sense.
I originally had 6, 7.
We talked about this last week. It's like you can't do that. You can't have it that people will not show up.
And I decided against it eventually. But I had
No 8, huh?
well, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
You know,
It's also
ultimately.
weird.
It is. But I fucking I'm like, I can throw in a question where the answer is 36 cars on Mars. All right? I can throw in a question where you got to answer me what you know about dead man's questions. Okay? I could and I'm like, you know what? Like, we're going to just back that shit off because we don't know who's going to walk into this panel.
Yeah.
But the version I originally designed was for the fiends in the chat right now who would have all that nonsense in their heads. So what I want to do is figure out how to do something more with this idea, and whether that is doing it at another con type of thing, or figuring out a way to do it on Twitch, because I want to maybe just make a Twitch game show out of it.
Fast.
But and it wouldn't be, you couldn't do Jeopardy, because if you did, you'd have 3 people and they'd all be able to cheat.
Yeah.
So I'd have to do like a quiz-based elimination with the whole chat thing. So I'm figuring out right now, but I want to put that suit to work and get more use out of it. So yeah, I'll take some Purple Haze feedback on what you guys thought if you check it out on the channel, JoJopardy. And I want to see how I can.
For our audio only listeners, I'm doing a big eye roll right now at that horrible pun.
I mean, it was just called JoJo Jeopardy as
Yeah.
an event, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to call it JoJopardy. And if your only feedback is cringy cringe, whatever, fuck off. All right? I had fun. It was great. It was a good time. But yeah, I want to definitely do this again. And prizes are a fun thing. I love fucking getting JoJo prizes.
Listen, everything is cringe. That's the secret of life.
Sure.
Everything is
Sure.
cringe.
But it was just wholesome JoJo fun.
No, what I'm saying is cringe man. Do you know what's really cringy? What I find personally to be the cringiest thing ever? Fantasy football.
Okay.
I find that to be like embarrassingly cringy. And there's a specific, somewhat quiet YouTuber out there that I'd like to call out who makes fun of weebs, but just started painting her fucking Warhammer army. That's some cringe shit.
Okay. I laugh and smile and nod as I literally just this weekend handed off my Kingdom Death monster to someone to paint and build for me.
Yeah.
My
Really?
miniatures.
You're not gonna paint it yourself?
I don't have the time for that shit. I also handed them a Kshatriya. So
I don't know what you just said.
it's a really hot ass Gundam design.
Okay.
From Gundam.
It's hot.
It's really cool.
It's hot ass.
It's a mobile suit type thing that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, JoJo Jeopardy. Go check it out on the channel and let me know how you feel.
What channel is that?
That is WoolieVersus. I also want to give a shout out to D20 Live. I played immediately after the panel. I had a half an hour to then fucking go and catch a quick ass sit before getting back on stage for a 3-hour game of D&D, which I played with the D20 Live people. Mike invited myself, Arcada, Jules from Family Jules, and Linkara to play in the world of Avatar.
Okay.
And I'm like, is it a bad if I haven't seen any Avatar? And they're like, this is the KOTOR of Avatar. It's 400 or 50 years in the past. Don't worry about it. So we played a little Avatar adventure. It was a really fun time.
That sentence just hit me in like 10 different ways. That is a weird way to describe anything.
Yeah.
This is the KOTOR of.
Yeah. And I played he basically had pre-made characters, and he's like, what role do you want to kind of fill? I picked the doctor that had pressure point based exploding techniques.
Cool.
So yeah, Dr. Punchface.
Yeah.
MD.
Oh, yeah.
MD rather. You know. And if the replays are up on that Twitch channel and you want to see a really good time, go check it out. It was really fun. I don't know what the fuck anything with Avatar is, but we got some
You
really
move the elements around.
We got some really critical like hits and critical fails in the most comedic possible moments.
Of course.
Because that's how D&D does.
It's dice rolling.
Dice rolling. So it was a good time. Go check that out as well. Shout out to those guys. And on the fucking break between like we starting that thing, the guy who I was like, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on this thing. Gets down on a knee and proposes, and I was like, what the fuck? And then
So you gonna marry him?
Yeah. And then while he does that, she goes, hold the phone, and reaches in and pulls out her own ring and goes, I was gonna do and they double fucking.
That's
that's a once in a lifetimer.
That's pretty good.
That's never gonna happen again. Straight up. And then we had to go back to playing D&D after the break, and I was like, that was amazing. That was super nice.
For memes.
So congrats to Mike and the D20 Live folks. That was really fun. Con Bravo, all in all, good one for the history books. Had a good time.